Hi, I'm Mahela Jayawardene, former Sri Lankan national cricket player. Well, I think it's very unfair. I think everyone's normal. I've come across so many individuals, professionals, and they're normal. I think discrimination against them is quite unfair because they're part of the society. They're part of us, and I believe it's wrong. Mostly, I think it's just the perception, the education, or the awareness that a lot of the people have is the key factor. I think everyone needs to educate themselves, have the awareness, understand about the subject, and I think that's the most important thing. And once they do that, I believe they will have a fair assessment. I think it's very wrong. I think I've come across so many different professionals, different parts of the world who are professionally capable, who are brilliant in whatever the professions that they are in. They're amazing individuals, very creative. They work very hard as anyone else. So I think just not being able to get a job or not being even facilitated, I think it's very wrong. I think it's on those individuals' capabilities, it's on the skill set, and it's about understanding what they can offer in that profession. I think that's what the criteria should be, like for anyone else, and it should not be different because of their sexuality. I hope so. If they're good enough to represent the country, yes, definitely. And we've seen in other parts of the world, football players, rugby players have come out and openly acknowledged their sexuality, and it has nothing to do with them. I mean, these are world-class players, and it's a good thing. It's a good trend. I think giving a very good message to other athletes who sometimes feel that they would be treated differently if they come out. But I think having these professionals coming out and explaining what they went through growing up and being part of different sports, and how they had to cope with these things will allow the next generation to accept who they are, and it should not be any issue as long as they are good enough to play any sport and be part of that. And I'm sure it might happen in Sri Lankan cricket in the future, and we should not we shouldn't think bad of that, because end of the day, as long as you are performing on the field and contributing to a team or even as an individual sport, it should not hinder who that individual is. Well, I think it's a common denominator. I think in life, I mean, it's your child, it's of flesh. I mean, you would treat any other child in the same way. It's not by choice, it's how they have been born, and their acceptance. I think any parent should think like that and give and love and support those individuals, because that's what they most needed. Because sometimes as a teenager you still don't know what is happening with it is a struggle. It's very well documented, the mental struggles that individuals go through in society. And if you're not accepted in your own household, that becomes an even worse situation for them to be in. So it's very, very important that the first acceptance should be at home, and have that love and support for them to come out and express themselves and be who they are and be part of the society. I think that's very, very important, and that's where it all should start. And I urge every parent to think broadly, and think, it's your children, it's your kid, and they need support, and that support structure has to start from home before they could get anywhere else. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's normal and nothing different. It's just that we have this stigma thinking that they're different. They're not different. They're like any one of us, and we need to allow them to be part of the society. We need to let them be part of every individual, and the family is the most important thing, because that's where they get that support system. That's where they get that freedom for them to express themselves and be part of it. So that acceptance within the family, it's very, very crucial, and will allow them to have that less pressure, I guess, of going out and being part of a society. They're not different to anyone else, any of my other friends. They are good, honest friends. They will advise you in times that you need advice, and they're part of my ups and downs, and they've been very supportive. So I think that's the thing. I mean, we don't accept them as anyone else. He's just a friend, and that's how it should be, and that is the acceptance, and that's something that we have to understand and have that awareness, not to treat them anything different, because they are your friends and they'll be good friends. Well, I think it is a huge issue, and it is to do with our existing laws and the way it's been interpreted, and awareness as well. I think that's something that we have to address in a legislative manner, and at the same time we need to understand they're people, and they're not subjects. They are people, and you cannot govern a country through social disparity. I think it's important that we understand they are part of the society. They are Sri Lankans. They have nowhere else to go, and we have to accept that. And I think that it's a broader conversation for everyone to have, and make sure that we have provisions and we don't treat anyone differently. I think Sri Lanka has come a long way, and there is a progressive movement, and we need to allow that to be more progressive, and have more depth in these conversations, and mainly education and awareness. I think that is the key. I think even within our education system, we need to find ways where we can educate the next generation, so that they understand, and that will allow more and more to accept what this is all about. I think a lot more people only get to understand this at a much later stage in their lives as adults. But I think even myself, I was not aware of all this until I grew up and I found out by myself. But I think if we have that kind of awareness as youngsters, I think that would make a huge difference in many lives. Well, we understand, we are very well aware of everyone, what's going on, but I think you need to have the strength and the courage to accept and be part of it, and I'm sure it's going to be a very progressive movement, and hopefully we get to a situation where everyone's treated equally. I understand, having seen a lot of and read and seen about what you all go through, not only in Sri Lanka but in many other countries. We just need to do more. We understand that, and at the same time, not to go into a closet and hide and suffer internally, because mental health is a huge issue in Sri Lanka, and this is driven by this culture that we've created. So it's important that you have the courage to come out, talk about it, and be part of it. I think that's the most important thing. The more and more people who come out and discuss this and create awareness and create the platform for the next generation to come forward earlier and understand their sexuality, what they go through, the changes that they go through, is very, very important message. So I think we all are with this issue. We're openly talking about it because we definitely need solutions, and I think as a society we will keep fighting and make sure that everyone's treated equally and be part of a bigger family. I think it's a global issue. It's not just for Sri Lanka, but I think it's the acceptance, it's education, it's awareness. I think we've gone through these cycles with religious issues, ethnic issues. It does divide societies. It does divide people, and this is also a part of it. The LGBT community is also part of it, and we need to understand, we need to discuss, we need to be open about it and find solutions, like I said. So as a country, it's our responsibility to make sure that we address these issues, and it's not a problem that we will have different opinions and we will have different ways of looking at it, but at the same time what we have to realize is these are people we're dealing with, and that's important, and they're Sri Lankans, and as a country we need to get behind and make sure that we do what's right, and that's the most important thing. I think it's brilliant. I think Sri Lanka has come a long way. Everyone who's involved has come a long way. They've had to fight through a lot, but we have made progress. And I think we should celebrate the Pride Month. I think we should celebrate it in a very positive way. There's a lot more work to be done, and I think everyone has to get together, make sure that the steps that we've taken forward, that we don't take backward steps, and we maintain that and create a society, create a culture, create a country that accepts everyone equally. Better together.